Welcome to
You Matter
in Business.
Your hosts today are Ariel and Miriam, your brand, your story, and your success.
Because you matter in your business. Hi, this week Miriam and I are going to talk a little bit more just because we keep talking about it. So we just thought we would take the opportunity to talk a little bit more about the retreat that we're bringing to Businesswomen. And I'm Ariel.
And I'm Miriam.
And if you want to learn a little more about us, you can watch episode 3 and 4. But what is a retreat? Why the word retreat versus conference versus workshop? What would you say, Miriam?
Oh, we talked a lot about what we were going to call it, didn't we?
We sure did.
So I think it's got elements of all the kind of conference, seminar-y type things, but actually, I think we ended up with the word retreat because I think we both felt that it's going to allow women to step out of the chaos of their normal life and retreat into into a place which is comfortable for them, but away from all that, the hubbub of their usual lives, away from the kids screaming, the telephone ringing, the texts going, but just allow them that time to focus in on themselves and their personal brand. Does that kind of encapsulate it, Ariel?
Yeah, and I think that we are including elements that are more about self-care, right? There will be self-care time and some relaxing time and some enjoying the location that we choose. We're looking at great places on the beach, obviously when weather is good in Florida, not when you're going to die outside. And then other places down the road, we may even travel the world with this. So we'll see, but that's kind of where we're going. So there is a retreat element to it that we're talking about. It's a emotional and mental retreat, but it's also a physical retreat where you get to enjoy nature because there's so much strength in grounding yourself, putting your feet in the sand, just allowing yourself that time. There's so much health benefits to that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why that word fit more than just workshop or conference, or at least that was the way I saw it.
Yeah. So how does the retreat that we're bringing, what do you think is unique about it? What's going to make it different from other retreats?
I think there are lots of things that make it unique. There's going to be a lot of actionable items at the retreat. There's going to be a lot of time for self-reflection and even being able to bounce ideas off of other businesswomen who struggle with the same thing. I mean, that's a really cool element. A lot of times you just go and you listen and you learn and then you walk away. But this is going to be about, discussing and talking and working through certain points that we have in the retreat, the messaging, how to be clear, the brand issues, what do the visual marketing mean, all that stuff.
And I think it's really important because particularly if you're a woman, a business owner, sometimes you can be kind of a lone wolf and perhaps you miss out on that opportunity to brainstorm with other women, sharing ideas with them. But I mean, obviously in a judgment-free, confidential kind of arena, but being able to take some other people's experiences and actually see your business from their eyes, which might be really enlightening. So yeah, it's going to be a lot more of a kind of a workshop-y type, but very interactive and allow time to develop those ideas during the 3 or 4 days that we're going to be away with them.
Yeah. And then we're adding 2 different components, which actually more like 3. We're adding the life coaching aspect. We're adding the brand and marketing strategy from a marketing perspective. And then you're going to have the visual marketing, which is the photography that results from all the work you do. So they end up with not only clear vision of themselves, their brand, they also end up with marketing material that supports all those things.
Yeah.
Photographs, marketing material, maybe even some verbal messaging, that they now have a clearer, that they work with, so it's going to give them a great deal in a short period of time. A lot of times we struggle as women and business owners, we struggle with, I got to come up with some content. What am I going to do? So the idea of coming together for a couple days, spending the time, really digging deep and coming up with a strategy for the year is going to be priceless for a lot of women.
Yeah, I completely agree. And it's all three of those elements, isn't it? I mean, so my part of my background was in sales and marketing, but marketing and working out how to do a whole branding exercise, going through the whole branding audit and coming up with your visions, values, aims, and those kind of, talking about your competitors, talking about your product, talking about what makes your client special, all those kind of things. So I come from that kind of background, but also now I'm obviously a coach as well. It's focusing in on those personal issues as well, that are those barriers that we need to overcome as business women to make sure that we're as successful as we can be. And I think we're going to, through the retreat, going to work through it in a really lovely flow, logical order of talking about how, what makes us, what's important to us, then what's important to our business and our branding, and how can we show that through all of the elements that we need for a brand, and then culminating in this amazing photo shoot where we've, at the top of our mind, we've got all those things that we've just said are important to us. We know what our messaging is. We're concentrating on who our client is. And then we end up with those amazing photographs in a fantastic environment, which is going to allow us to showcase that in the best way possible. It sounds amazing, doesn't it? I think I want to go on it.
You want to go?
I want to go. I really want to go.
What do you think is something you hope for? It's not on our list of questions, but what is one hope you have for anyone who attends the retreat?
Clarity, I think, over the 3 or 4 days. So clarity of their own messaging, of their own business, clarity of messaging their photography, and clarity in their own self and their own goals and view of the future for themselves. What about you? Is there a word that sums it up for you?
Probably not a word, but confidence goes with that clarity. Because with the confidence of the clarity, clarity brings confidence, because once you're clear, you can speak about it much more eloquently, right? So the confidence is one thing I hope, but I also hope that, in the course of working with these, the 3 other women and the team, which is also a whole bunch of, business owners, women, they will have a network of support on the other side of it. So it's not just a matter of you walk away and hopefully they'll form connections, they'll form a greater network of support for themselves in the course of the retreat. So that's the other side effect that I hope we get from it.
Were they going to get an opportunity to meet with the people that they're going to go away with beforehand?
Yes, they are. And this is something that's super important to me. I've been on several different retreat/conferences through the last 6 years. And there's always one thing I always wished that was included. And it was meeting the people that you're going to spend the time with before the conference. Because there's so many things that are, nerve-wracking about any new experience. What to bring, what to wear, all the what's, right? Who is it? Yeah. What are they going to be like? What do they do? Are they going to do exactly what, all those things. We have all these unknowns in our head. So we have planned a group Zoom session prior as part of the preparation. And then we have private Zoom sessions that we can talk about a little more individual. So we are prepared as the instructors and as the guides, and then you feel prepared with what you're packing, with the other people in the group. You get to meet them. We get to talk.
I think that's great. They'll feel comfortable as a result of those Zoom meetings.
Yeah. So when we have, welcome dinner and orientation, it's like you're having dinner with friends. It won't be awkward. that's at least the goal of those. And they'll be prepared, which is great, as much as you can be, because, it's new and different, right?
Yeah. Meeting people on Zoom is different from meeting people in person, but at least you've got that initial, those questions already answered in your mind. And so should we tell them a little bit about the structure, sort of what happens on each day? Do you want to go into some depth about that?
Yeah, sure. There'll be obviously more information on the website. And then I will have a page on my website, and Miriam will have one on hers that talks about the retreat also. But I'll cover the first day. The first day, actually, I want you to cover the first day, because the first day is pretty much, I'm your helper.
Bless you. As well, so day one would be the kind of getting to the venue, checking in, making sure you're comfortable in your bedroom, and meeting the team and the other 3 businesswomen. So there'll be kind of maybe a few like ice-breaking type things that we do together, so that we just all get to know each other and understand where we're coming from, build on what we've already learned in those Zoom sessions. So it's a bit of bonding. And then we're going to go into some really interesting, but sort of what are our aims for the retreat, and sort of start to peel back the curtains on how we're going to tackle those 3 elements that we've already talked about, which are the coaching and the branding, and then aiming at culminating in that the photo shoot at the end. So that'll be a kind of introduction is day 1. And then day 2, we're going to get delve deep into that nitty gritty. We're going to talk about the life, health and career coaching bits, the elements, the things like the barriers that stop us being successful. So we're going to talk a bit like that. And then we're going to do some of those branding development workshops, and really allow that time for brainstorming and idea sharing. And then in the evening, I think we'll probably go into some self-care time and some relaxation, and just allow us to reflect on the day, but also to have a bit of downtime as well, because self-care is really important. It's not selfish. It's allowing us to give more generously to other people. And so that's what kind of element of the retreat. So then after we've done all that, we've got something out of it, and we know exactly where we are and we're focused on it. Day 3 is what, Ariel?
Well, before we get to day 3, I'll just wrap up day 2 evening, because one of the preparations for a really good feeling and also very good photographs is fresh, hydrated skin. So we're going to make sure that part of the elements that are the night before include, some fun stuff that will help us even wake up looking much better than we imagined. And then we get into, we'll do hair and makeup. And, that's going to be something that everybody has their own style, and that needs to be communicated. Extremely important that you feel comfortable in whatever is done. Or
so there will be a professional hair and makeup people coming on the shoot too, so that's provided for them.
Yes, while we're on location in the house, that will be, they will be there. They'll be there to start the day, and it's not an over makeup. It's the makeup specific to branding is typically very clean, very natural, very what allows your eyes to kind of pop a little bit more than it's not wedding makeup, or it's a very simple look depending on the person. If you want a little more, that's fine. You can also change in the course of the day. If you want a more natural look in the beginning, then you can add more later if you wanted to go with something a little more elegant or whatever, something more signature. So that's part of that is prepping. We'll go over clothes, wardrobe. Me and my team there'll be another photographer there. There'll be a videographer there. So we'll create the strategy while you're getting your hair and makeup done. So we'll be talking about the order, and it's kind of a fast-paced day for us. It's not necessarily a fast-paced day for you, because you'll have time to change outfits in between, to kind of sit and have a cup of coffee or drink some water or whatever. So you're not like, it's not going to be a rush day for you. We will be going from person to person to make sure everybody gets what they need. So we will look like we're busy, which we will be, but that's okay because that's making you happy. And then we're going to have lunch, and then we're going to go out and do some, probably have a break, and then do some on-site location. Now, obviously, depending on where the Airbnb is, we might go down to a downtown. We might do some coffee shop locations, whatever matches your brand. So in those preliminary Zoom sessions, we find out what environments make you comfortable. What environments do you feel most like yourself? So those are the environments that we want to do more lifestyle photography, showing you out and about, showing your personality, your what you love, some of those passions,
but also
through those kind of what?
It gives them their messaging as well. So
yes.
If they, like me, work with people, do there need to be other people in the shops? If they're a realtor, do there need to be, I don't know, but we'll get that idea in those pre-sessions, but also the day before, whilst we're building that brand and that messaging, we'll know the kind of photographs that they need to have to be able to do that.
Exactly.
Do that social media stuff throughout the year.
Yes, 100%. Yeah. And then after we wrap up with casual dinner, then we will have day 4, which will be a sad day, but a happy day. Sad, happy is what it is. We are going to wrap up with the lessons that we learned, some of the takeaways. Oh, we will have, and I didn't mention this about day 3, but there will be an opportunity to do some interviews with the videographer. And to me, that one's a really important thing where you have maybe 5 or 6 questions that you're asked 100 times in whatever you do. And so you're going to have the opportunity to be videoed in front of as an interview style. And that content can be put on YouTube. It can be used as reels. It can be broken into pieces. It's just another way of adding content to your bucket for the year, another asset. So that will happen on day 3 towards the end of the day. And then weather permitting, we'll either do a sunrise or sunset session on the beach. Obviously, the location has to be on the beach, but we'll do something a little more fun and glamorous or just fun. Again, it's depending on the clients and what these beautiful women want to do. So it's it's very tailored. Each experience will be different based on the women that come and their field and their business and what they're comfortable and what they're not. And there will always be the opportunity to say, I'm not feeling that. I don't like that. I don't want to do that. Fine. Because when you're being photographed, sometimes, you get asked to be put in some pose that's wacky and crazy and it's hurting your back. Well, communication is 100% important. And I will help guide you through posing so you don't have to feel like, oh, well, what am I supposed to do? So we'll have some lessons before we even start on just some basic fluid posing. So you're comfortable. Because if you're not comfortable in the shot, it shows, right? You're not being authentic. You're like, ugh, and you're stagnant and you're stiff and you're really like ready to say, photographer, get out of my face. And that will show through the picture. And that's not going to help any of us, me or you. So anyway, that's my spiel and that's what I'm sticking to.
I love the fact that this retreat is completely centered around the needs of the people that are going to be there. It's going to be completely flexible depending on which women it is that are going to turn up and completely for their needs. So, and because it's so intimate, just for women and the team, it does allow us that flexibility to be completely agile to work around their needs and their requirements. And I love that. I think that's central to this whole retreat.
Absolutely. And then they have an action plan and they know what to do when they go home, which makes it even better. And friends for life.
And some amazing photographs. Yeah, they want them. Lovely. Oh, well, that's good. I think I understand it all a lot more now. And I hope that our listeners do too. And I hope that they're excited about the opportunity that this retreat can give them.
I do too. And again, you can find information to get on our VIP list, which you'll get more information as we release it to the public. So get on that list. And we will see you again in next week. We are going to start talking about a lot of the what's and the whys, right? So we talk about all these things. We talked about what we do and all this stuff. So we want to really start talking about, what is a mission statement? What is a vision statement? What are value? What are these different things that we have to talk about? What is a customer avatar? Not all in one session, but we want to break down some of those branding issues. What is a brand persona? I'm just looking at a list of different things that we know we're going to talk about. Personal development. You used a different word for mindfulness that we're going to talk about.
Healthy mindset.
So healthy mindset.
Yeah, not necessarily just mindfulness, but having a healthy mindset.
And then stress management, confidence, self-esteem, imposter syndrome, negative stuff. What else do we have planned for them in the future? All kinds of stuff.
All kinds of stuff.
Self-care. What else? Yeah. Can you think of anything?
Self-sabotage, key. No, and then I suspect we'll wrap up with maybe an episode that talks a little bit about how you're going to tackle the photography shoot and key things that they need to know about that.
Yeah, and also, as part of business growing and marketing, you need to talk about how to accomplish some of this stuff. There might be sessions where we deviate and do some live training too. If you sign up for it, this is just off the cuff, but we could do, maybe a Canva. How do we use Canva to our advantage? We have all these photographs, we have all these messages. Now, what tools do I need and how can I use them? So there's a lot of practical stuff that we also can talk about, because it's all great if you have all this clarity, but you have no clue how to put it into action. So some of that action is also what we'll be talking about, but a lot of why is it important? What makes all of this work? Why am I going to do it? That I think is one of the reasons why we're pulling this podcast together, because you do matter in your business. Your mindset matters, your confidence matters, your value matters. That makes or breaks a company, is that very thing.
Yeah.
And as women, we don't want to break. We want to rise.
Love
right?
Nailed it, Ariel.
All right. We will see you again.
See you next episode. After all, it is your brand, your story, and your success. Because Ariel and I know you matter in your business.
Thank you for listening to the You Matter in Business podcast. Please follow, share, like, and comment. We would love to hear from you. This podcast is sponsored by Ariel Faith Photography and Enrich Life Coaching. The show notes provide more information on how to contact Ariel and Miriam and any guest speakers who share in our journey together.